With plenty of fan theories floating around about Jordan Peele's blockbuster Nope, the movie is currently dominating lots of discussion on sites such as Reddit. Nope completely subverts the traditional expectations of the sci-fi genre, including how it tackles the premise regarding extraterrestrial and alien invasions with deeper social commentary. One of the most shocking ways that an alien invasion movie can subvert expectations is by letting the aliens win, which is exactly what several classic sci-fis have attempted over the years. This bold storytelling can be risky, but Reddit users have proven that it often pays off with strong consequences. Life 2017. One of the more modern sci-fi movies to execute this trope, Life is a perfect example of how daring narratives and audience subversion are vital in keeping the genre alive. In all aspects except its ending, Life is a very traditional and predictable story, but its dark conclusion makes it stand out in the genre. Reddit user Plague of Laughter cites Life's bleak ending as one of its strongest features, even if it's also the most controversial. Dark endings such as the one in Life can often divide audiences, but the majority of movie fans believe that it's the unapologetic bleakness that makes Life so memorable. The Day Mars Invaded Earth, 1963. It might not be the most well-known movie in the genre, but The Day Mars Invaded Earth was actually one of the foundational alien invasion movies. Despite being written almost 60 years ago, the film still feels timeless with its dark portrayal of extraterrestrials and their unknowable power. Reddit user Faceless Artifact admits that The Day Mars Invaded Earth terrified them as a child, not just because of its desperately hopeless ending but also because of its creepy imagery and aspects of sci-fi horror. The film also features one of the most underrated sci-fi villains with the eerily intelligent aliens. Cloverfield, 2008. Cloverfield pretty much set the precedent for how to do a modern alien invasion right. It's full of tension and horror to keep things exciting whilst also offering lots of great character work that gets the audience invested, before completely destroying any hope of survival with a shocking ending that sees humanity in the face of doubtless destruction. Something is visible landing in the water during the last scene on Coney Island, writes Reddit user Sabelzebub, suggesting that humanity's conqueror is indeed an alien. Although the origin of the monster in Cloverfield isn't really explained, the film's home video style brings this emotional depth of what transpires at the last moment, with the aliens winning long before their first attack. Alien: Covenant, 2017. The Alien franchise is famous for its genre-defying stories and intense action sequences, but Covenant is actually one of the richest and most philosophical entries in the franchise. With a dark ending that raises several questions about the nature of mankind and their relationship with aliens, Covenant is certainly one of the Alien franchise's most interesting entries. Reddit user Caspinlang offers their own interpretation of the film's ending, which is intentionally left somewhat ambiguous. David has control of the ship. I will say that David most likely took those alien killers to all sorts of planets in the universe. And somehow, this idea is even more unsettling than many of the ideas that are explicitly explored in the movie. They Live, 1988. John Carpenter's They Live might not have the chilling horror of most alien invasion movies, but what it lacks in fear, it certainly makes up for in blood-pumping excitement. The film takes place in the wake of an alien invasion, as one man begins to discover the reality of those who live among them. As Reddit user TGOTR points out, humans have already lost in They Live, but Carpenter does a great job of raising the stakes and making the audience question the world around them through a topical and subliminal narrative. It's this slick and confident filmmaking that makes They Live one of Carpenter's most underrated movies to date. Skyline, 2010. It might not be the most critically acclaimed sci-fi movie out there, but Skyline certainly fits the criteria when it comes to shocking conclusions that leave mankind in the dust. Whilst many might think that aliens successfully invading Earth might be a disappointing ending, Skyline proves that sometimes it's the only way for a story to end. Reddit user Don't Worry It's Me 4 Real claims that Skyline was actually better than I was expecting it to be. The film's drastic conclusion forces the story to sear into the minds of the audience, with a completely unforgettable story that very few movies would dare to execute. Annihilation, 2018. Alex Garland's Annihilation is one of the most creative and inventive sci-fi films in recent memory, loaded with social commentary and poetic metaphors that display the very best aspects of the genre. Sadly, for the film's characters, that also includes a tragic ending that has no remorse for humanity. Redditor The Handsome Badger writes that the aliens have left the zone and have infiltrated humanity, which is somehow even more frightening than all-out victory. It makes the audience question everything they thought they knew about humanity and individuality, which is why Annihilation's unhappy ending is so great. A Quiet Place, 2018. Although the main plot of John Krasinski's A Quiet Place actually takes place in the fallout of an alien invasion, it's still clear that the human race has been mostly wiped out by the aliens. It's a clever spin on the traditional invasion story, following a group of survivors as they're forced to live with the consequences of loss. Redditor Licensedoyle also notes that, above all, A Quiet Place is a horror film. For decades, these two genres have gone hand in hand, but Krasinski's film manages to use the typical trope of an alien invasion as a gateway to creating one of the most intense horror movies of recent years. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. The 1978 remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers is undoubtedly one of the most famous and best alien invasion movies ever made, but it certainly doesn't pull its punches when it comes to its dark storyline and hopeless characters. As Redditor Sergeant Sheik writes that none of the characters in Invasion of the Body Snatchers ever had a chance, which is a highly dark message for the film to present. Jack Finney's script manages to make the most out of every second and lace the film's devastating ending with some biting commentary. Avengers: Infinity War, 2018. The last thing that anybody was expecting from Avengers: Infinity War was to see the heroes lose, but somehow the MCU managed to pull off this dramatic twist with incredible finesse and precision. Thanos' successful invasion of Earth, and consequent destruction of half the universe, was one of the most unexpected movie endings in recent memory. Although Thanos' actions are undone in the consequent film, there's no doubt that Thanos is the victor at the end of Infinity War. And even once he's taken down in Endgame, his actions still resulted in several deaths and irreversible sufferings. Reddit user Cephaludus accurately points this out: Thanos absolutely won. The MCU is still reeling from the effect of the snap.